Did somebody say WeeaBoots? Because I think I just heard someone say WeeaBoots. Hello and welcome to another hopefully better sounding episode of the WeeaBoots podcast. We got the full staff with us today. I'm Dan Video Games, your host from GigaBoots.com, and we've got Bob.
Hey.
From GigaBoots.com. Jeff from HeroesLeo.com.
Fucking liar. I'm not here.
You're not here?
No.
And Jeff.
Hello, new and improved volume here.
Yeah.
I hope.
Hopefully.
I'll try.
We're trying to get Jeff to, basically ride this mic like a pole dancer. Jeff's tearing up. He doesn't appreciate our seating placement. But yeah, we got a couple animes to review, which you probably read the description. The Testament of Sister New Devil and Assassination Classroom. Now, the amazing thing is, we also watched an extra anime by... We, I mean Jeff. Jeff, what did you watch?
I watched Yuri Arashi. I
Which
watched
is
the wrong show.
Lesbian bear explosion?
Yeah.
Storm, I believe.
Storm.
Bear Storm, I believe.
Okay, so that is not the Testament of Sister New Devil, which is sort of what we assigned.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was really late that night. It was like 2:30 in the morning.
We're like, okay, we're gonna watch this smut and this thing that looks cool, and Jeff's like, okay, I'm gonna watch this smut, and then he goes and watches the lesbian bear anime with the lolies.
Some other smut.
He just went to
Pretty
Crunchyroll,
smutty.
stared at it, and he's like, I know I'm watching smut.
Yeah, it was like in between my Bloodborne deaths.
Yeah, he's just sitting there like,
I was like, okay, it was the smutty one, and then I saw it. It had Yuri in the name.
You're like, it's gotta be
I
that.
just see Jeff just looking at it, just going, wheel of pornography, turn.
Show us the smut that we shall...
I was watching it on Hulu as I've been watching all of the anime for this.
So,
And
yeah.
when it starts, it was like, this is intended for a mature
audience.
Mature Mature
This was
audiences
intended for a
only.
mature audience. And I was just like, oh yeah, here we go for this. Yeah, it was
So
Okay,
Jeff,
so
what do you...
describe this
Yeah,
for us.
describe-
Because I like all I know about it is they're lesbians. I think they might be bears, and I know it's made by Ikuhara, the guy who did Utena and Penguin Drum. So
yeah, it's.
How many episodes did you watch?
I watched 3.
Okay, so you watched 3 episodes.
So
what happens in those episodes?
There's,
luck.
There's bears, but
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if they're really bears, but I think they are. But they disguise themselves as schoolgirls and break. There's this thing called the Severance Fence or Severance Wall or whatever, and it keeps the bears out because there was a meteor shower
The fuck did I
that
watch?
for some reason made the
the wrong
bears
anime.
all sentient and want to eat humans. So then these two of them break through and disguise themselves as schoolgirls.
Wait, these bears
Yeah.
break through the barrier, disguise themselves as schoolgirls.
Yeah, so they can hunt out and eat humans while disguised
Now,
among the humans.
I did see one episode of this. Those when they're normal bears, they're super small. They're tiny
Yeah,
little
they
bears.
look like
They're-
stuffed bears.
Yeah, they're not
little-
like giant man-eating things.
Oh, okay.
oh,
Okay.
see, I was expecting like lowly Ursa rings or something, but I guess
Yeah, and it doesn't really depict them as bears except for in the shadows, and they'll just be like, growl, 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 I'm so hungry. And then pretty much in the first episode, they were stalking this lesbian couple, and they ended up kidnapping and presumably eating and killing one of them, and then they go to eat the other one, but then this weird council of 3 dudes comes in.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just
That's
seriously
something-
just interject, the bears are like, we're gonna eat you, we're so hungry, and they're just like, hold on, we need to make sure whether or not you're actually allowed to do this. And I forgot what they're called, but it's one of them is
Okay, so Jeff,
I can't remember it.
did you like this anime?
No,
You didn't like it. Why is that?
because every episode was basically the same format.
So it was an anime.
Yeah. But no, whenever they went to eat this girl, instead they were deemed allowed to do it in the name of Yuri Love, and they basically just like rape her.
Cool.
Like it shows them like licking honey and like licking a flower that's
Oh.
placed over her crotch and stuff, and it's like
Okay.
Wow.
they seriously like. It's very clear that these two girls were just like, wow, you're really hot. We just wanted to go down on you this whole time. But then we also ate your lover. But we actually ate her.
So Jeff, thank you for that review
Yeah.
of.
I watched the wrong one.
So we have some other animes that we actually arranged to review. That's why they're in the title of this episode on iTunes. The Testament of Sister New Devil and Assassination Classroom. What should we start with, Bob? Now, The Testament of Sister New Devil is a bit smutty like that thing he
Yeah.
was just describing.
Okay,
so
but
maybe
so-
we'll put it after Assassination Classroom.
All right.
Sure.
Okay, so the assignment went, me, Bob, and Jeff were going to watch The Testament of Sister New Devil, and me, Bob, and Jay from AilsInno.com we're going to watch Assassination Classroom.
So I watched Cardcaptor Sakura.
Again?
Actually, I haven't
Now-
watched Cardcaptor Sakura.
So,
like, the whole
yeah,
week,
and then
but-
you posted that quote from you and Agro talking about
God,
it
yeah, I
on
forgot
Facebook.
about
You
that.
should tell the audience.
Oh,
I'm sure
yeah,
they
just-
would appreciate that
Yeah, I was-
dialogue.
I was talking to Agro, like, because I've been watching Cardcaptor Sakura. I'm talking to Agro. I'm just like, okay, so far, Cardcaptor Sakura supports pedophilia, gay pedophilia, and incest. And he goes, well, yeah, but it's not unreciprocated pedophilia. And I just looked at him in stunned. I'm like standing in the kitchen looking at him in stunned horror, and he just looks back at me. Damn it, Jay! Why do you keep making me say this shit? Like it's my fucking fault. I'm like, no,
It is.
no. Like, no, Kyle, you're fucked up. No, it's not my fault.
That is not.
This isn't even like. This is 10-year-olds,
Right?
right? It's not even like they're in high school.
Yeah, they're all 10-year-olds, and like, okay, it's here's the relationship dynamic here. You have Sakura,
Hey, Jeff.
who's in love with her
So.
brother's with her brother's best
Bloodborne?
friend.
Right.
He's 17.
So
Okay, I thought he was 23.
Yeah, so it's like a 10-year-old and a 17-year-old.
Okay, so we're not beating out Sailor Moon for weird gaps in age.
Actually, no, it's a larger gap. Than,
Is it?
Because Sailor Moon, I believe, was 14 and 20, or 19 or 20 is Tuxedo Mask. We're
Oh,
talking,
wow, I thought Tuxedo Mask was even older.
Yeah, he was 32, right?
Yeah, like,
No, not that much. Damn, he aged
Yeah,
well.
'cause-
like a fucking wine.
yeah, because I think
Yes.
he's like a first year in college, first second year in college. But yeah,
Let me just dip over to the middle school.
but yeah, like Sakura's an elementary student, I believe, or she's or maybe she's like first year in middle school. But yeah, she's 10 years old.
Yeah.
Sakura and Li Xiaolong and all them, they're 10 years old. Li Xiaolong, like, he's also in love with Sakura's brother's best friend. So that's where the gay pedophilia comes in.
Okay.
And then the incest where Xiaolong's fiance, Mei Ling, is his cousin. And that's where the incest comes from.
And that's your Card Captor Sakura Minute with Jay from AilsInno.com.
Is that his tip of the week?
That is Jay's tip of the week.
Oh.
Incest. What's up with that? So let's talk about Assassination Classroom. Now, Assassination Classroom, that's been picked up for distribution in the States by Funimation, right?
That's right.
Okay, cool. And the director on this is Seiji Kishi. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Did Angel Beats, Arpeggio of Blue Steel. I've never heard of that one.
I've heard of that. I hear
And-
good things.
And Humanity Has Declined. Now I've heard the
I
first
actually
one and
really
the
like
third
that one.
Humanity Has Declined?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
good.
one's I hear that. I hear that one's pretty good.
Yeah, like-
I don't hear anything about Arpeggio of
Yeah.
Blue Steel.
Like, I didn't hear of a page of Blue Steel until, what was it?
Until I stumbled into
Discotheque.
hipster anime club.
No, Discotheque had announced a license for it. I'm like, whatever. And then people were like, oh my god. And that's what all of a sudden I started hearing it pop up way more after that.
I watched it when it came out, I think, but it has lots of really bad CG. Like, the whole thing
Yeah,
is
yeah.
bad
Looks
CG.
like it had a lot of it. Now, Angel Beats, I've watched all of, and I really loved Angel Beats. Jeff, you've seen Angel
Oh
Beats.
yeah,
as well.
I didn't even realize it was the same director.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
did.
like, as
Angel
soon as I
Beats
saw
was
that, I was just-
amazing.
Yeah, like I'm sitting there going, this is for the director of Angel Beat makes sense.
So yeah, and the original creator, because this was manga first,
Right, this was in Shonen Jump. This is
Yusei Matsui. That is an I at the end.
yeah.
Yeah, Matsui. Okay, cool. Sorry, the text is just small enough for my eyes not to be able to.
I should have upgraded
Because they're underscored, and that's what's throwing me off. But yeah, Yusei Matsui, who did Neuro, which is Neuro, Neuro Supernatural Detective, which is a TV show.
It was a.
Manga
It was
first?
manga first, and then turned into a TV show. I got the TV show because that's the Americanized name. That they bought.
Gotcha. And animation production was done by Lurch.
God, that sounds creepy.
That sounds like the merch from Penny Arcade.
I'm assuming it's supposed to be like Lerche, or maybe Lurche.
And maybe, I don't know. Either way, it's probably like a pile of LR sounds. And,
yeah, it still is gonna.
It's
like,
Richard.
which did Gakko Gurashi, Ri Hamatora, and Fate Prototype.
I have never heard of any of these.
Fate Prototype has a slash in
Yeah,
between.
so that's Fate Stay Night universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like Fate divided by Prototype. Fate Prototype over 358 days.
Yes.
So let's talk about what the deal with Assassination Classroom is. So, okay, you got the school rejects. You know, it's the E class. E stands for end of the line because they're fucking rejects who can't make it in the normal school. So they just get thrown up on a mountainside in a shitty, non-air conditioned fucking class environment to basically be idiots for the rest of their lives. They aren't as extreme as the depiction of these types of individuals in, say, oh man, I forgot the name of the anime, the one we love.
Nichijou?
No. There wasn't a reject class of Nichijou.
Totally, they were all rejects.
Oh, I don't. Damn it, the box that's wrote are Cromartie.
Cromartie High.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they're not Cromartie High scale idiots or anything like that. They come off as legitimate human beings. So in any case,
this is like some really high-end prep school that just kind of shoved their lower-end students into this pit.
because of individual subjects they aren't good at, a lot of them it seems.
Right.
So in any case, they're up there and the moon gets fucking blown up. Like, just straight up, all that's left of it is a tiny crescent, and there's a gigantic hole through it. And, like, 2 days later, this tentacle monster enters the classroom with government agents, and they're like, hey, so as a deal we have with this tentacle monster, he's now going to run this classroom, and you're going to try to kill him by the end of the semester, or he's going to blow up the Earth.
The year. They have a year.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they have 1 year to do it. Yeah, and like he won't harm them, and they have like special weapons designed specifically to fuck
kill him.
up.
Yeah, they're like rubber knives, but if they touch his tentacles, they explode.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is, like, the first episode's just going over the concept, so you don't get enough time to really go into what the tone of the show is, but it is pretty funny just in that first episode. What was it? At one point, they're like, "Oh my God, it's an alien!" And he's like, "I'll have you know, I was made on Earth."
It's like I'm an Earthling, born and bred.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So it was just really, yeah. So this show's, instead of going into the characters, I'm gonna go ahead and just like get even more on a personal level, subjective talking about. I like the show a lot. I think it's really funny. Like the reason
they
why
didn't
it's
cover that it is a comedy. It's not like trying to be anything else.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a dark comedy, but it is a comedy.
It'd be kind of weird for me to be like, I like the show a lot. It's funny, and then it's a completely straight face.
Right?
But the thing is, the reason why it's so funny to me is what I just described doesn't do well to really explain why it's funny. It's funny because like every episode is full of like the teachers just trying to inspire these reject students to do better than they were doing, and just like, no, see, it's not good enough to try to kill me with one plan. You need to try with two. Search within yourself to come up with creative ways. And like every fucking episode is like a sports anime.
Right? It's some
just
weird,
like,
thing.
yeah.
And
he's a fucking terrible tentacle monster.
Like, well, he's not terrible, but you know,
Well,
he's.
I don't know. His actual tentacles look a little weird.
Oh yeah, he's like really creepy.
yeah,
but
he's
like
super creepy.
But it's like as far as like being a character, he's an awesome character.
Oh no, he like Ivan the Terrible. Like he's powerful and like can instill fear because he travels at Mach 20.
They love saying that too.
They love it. Every episode has to have at least one line referencing the fact he can go Mach 20.
Yeah.
They established this in episode 2 by like in between periods. He's like, "Well, it's break time. I'm gonna go to what was it? Was it Korea?
I think
I think
Vietnam
Vietnam.
to get
He did
coffee.
Vietnam one time.
Oh, right.
I think it was for that chick's tea.
Right,
Yeah.
but he
But
went to
another
get
episode-
gelato from Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that. And he's like, I'll have you know, I traveled through the stratosphere, or like the highest layer of the atmosphere, to keep it cold enough to keep the gelato whole by the time I got here. You just see him flying through fucking almost space, holding a gelato. And it's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
What did you guys think?
I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was very like I don't feel like we've had good comedy series in a while, so it was a nice change of pace to have a good like this feels funny and not overly serious.
I feel like every fucking episode of fucking WeeaBoots is gonna bring it up, but a Barakamon?
Yeah,
That was pretty funny.
That was pretty
Yeah.
funny.
It was also very heartful.
It was.
Yeah. And honestly, so is this. Like it's
Yeah.
it's
I
at
don't-
its moments.
Yeah, I don't think this was as heartful as that, but
Yeah.
it-
But that's
no.
because it's absurd.
Yeah,
right. It is grounded in absurdity, but
So, okay, to bounce off of that, it's been a while since we've had a funny anime sort of thing.
okay.
I was talking to my girlfriend about this. Like, she watched some of it with me, and she sort of, I don't know, like, it's not a very original concept, and some things like that of, like, it's full of a lot of tropes. Like, the exact outline may not be something that was done before, but is very, very tropey. And I'm like, yeah, but see, that's the thing. Once you get to that second episode and it has that emotional speech, it just hits that fever pitch of correct parody where it's fucking delicious. Because if it wasn't that, it was just every episode they try to kill their sensei.
yeah, I feel like
Like,
this
that
is one
would
of the
be
series
that would be a pretty shit anime.
this it gets better like each episode. Like
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
feel like even we only were supposed to watch the first
Four?
or
Yeah,
so,
we
but
normally
I've
watch
been,
4.
I was keeping up with the whole series that
I
was
only
going, and it was like each time I felt like it was better just because they keep introducing new characters that are even crazier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also explore dynamics they left untapped. Like, you don't get an introduction to the principal proper until the 6th episode.
Right.
There's an assembly in the 5th episode, and each episode introduces new characters and goes deeper into older concepts and things that the show is constructed in.
Yeah. Okay. So, this anime.
Yes,
Uh,
this is an anime.
yes. One thing it definitely reminded me of, and I don't know if any of you three have seen it.
Debbie Does Dallas, yeah.
Right? I know that the double penetration scene in it.
Yes,
So many tentacles.
it's shot
so
for shot.
good. Like one of the best recreations I've ever seen. Thanks, asshole. I forgot where I was originally going because now I'm going off on a fucking porno tangent.
Yes,
Oh,
best
okay.
host.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah,
GTO. Have any of
Okay.
you guys seen Great Teacher
I-
Onizuka?
I've only seen like the first 2 episodes, but I can
Alright.
kind of see where you're coming from. with
Yeah, like this has like the exact outside of the whole monster teacher trying to kill it angle. Like this has like the exact same tone of GTO. Like the comedy is there. Like the diverse cast of students, the scenarios. The very kind of heartfelt moments he shares with the students. But also the teacher himself is kind of crazy and fucking weird and has these very weird ways of teaching his students.
yeah.
Yeah, it definitely gave me a huge GTO vibe, and like the whole like by episode 2 that hit me, I was just like, this is just GTO with a tentacle monster.
In real quick, just as a note on top of all the things we've been saying, a lot of the anime we watch is subbed on Crunchyroll for Steam.
Yes.
This is on Funimation, and it's being simultaneously dubbed. So they have up to episode...
Yeah, I think that they're
5.
4 episodes behind or so,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah,
still
so they're
like,
trailing
really
by-
good rate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I watched episode 6 because that's how much they had done by the time
Oh, I only saw episode 5 on
6 went up today.
Yes.
motherfucker. I was busy today. I've been all out and about, but yeah, I didn't.
I'm too busy for anime.
Yeah, when I saw
I
you
was.
watching it when I came in here today, I was like, that came out today, didn't it, Dad?
You jerk! Yeah. And now that we've dated when we recorded this...
Uh-oh.
So yeah,
Mark.
Podcast over!
it's done. Okay, so,
Fucking this is if it was a self-serious like, oh, they need to find a way to kill the teacher, and even that was funny, that wouldn't be enough for me. It really is that the teacher genuinely and deeply cares about all these students, and He helps one of them make a poison to kill him.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a great episode.
Okay.
She's like super nervous, and the episode starts with her walking up with 3 vials, and she's like, I'm not good at being sneaky or expressing myself. Will you drink this poison? And he's like, well, I have to give it to you. That was a very straightforward approach. Okay, let's do it. And he just wolfs down these vials.
Yeah.
It was pretty great.
Does he like want to die?
No.
Is he?
He is so past the level of thinking he'll die. Like, he's pretty fucking like, good fucking luck, you shitlords.
Yeah, like they establish like he changes colors based on his moods, and one that you see frequently is he'll have green stripes going across him, which means that he's feeling really arrogant.
Yeah, he feels superior to you and shit like that.
And the military's like, we've seen that one a lot.
Because like the first episode when they're describing, so we made a deal with him, when they're saying that sentence, we made a deal with him, it shows him in the middle of like the UN and everyone's firing guns at him and he's just dodging like instantly.
Yeah.
I think that even when he gets hit by bullets, he like absorbs them in his body.
Yeah, like he takes lead in and he's like, also when it enters my body, it does this.
Yeah,
and
it
he pulls
liquefies.
out like molten hot lead.
Yeah, it just liquefies, and he's like, yeah, done.
It's
Okay.
pretty good.
So Dan,
Yeah,
you're about to talk about the simuldub. Let's just go ahead and get to the part that we know you want to talk about.
Jerry Jewell
is in it. Yeah,
And he's a character that shows up at least once an episode. For those who don't know, Jerry Jewell's Jimmy Kudo.
And in case I don't know, has it been said in this podcast, or do you only say it in the GigaBoots one?
I think I may have mentioned it once, but it's worth mentioning again. Every podcast is a new episode or new podcast for someone. Every episode's a new start for someone.
Yeah.
I own all of Case Clothes that came over. All of it. All of it.
And Dan is hard gay for Jimmy Kudo.
Jimmy Kudo's fucking, yeah.
If only
fucking
just
gay.
his voice.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
We were
What's up?
discussing like possibly doing a larger project, Kodocha, because you get to hear Jerry Jewell in every single episode as a main character.
But I also get that in Iwatobi Swim Club.
But that's not out yet.
Yeah,
That's true. Okay.
and
Fair enough.
I already own all the Kodocha.
Well,
and
there you
it's
go.
Hilarious.
It's super free for me.
Yeah.
Hooray! Yeah, so this is a pretty good dub. The Tentacle Monster is voiced by Sonny Stride,
Sunny Strike,
who you might know as, what's the Full Metal character? he plays?
Maze Hughes,
Maze Hughes?
Krillin,
Krillin. And he's just like this tentacle
Lupin the
monster.
Third, yeah,
Usapu.
yeah, Usopp.
Raito.
Yeah, let's say Usopp.
Usopp.
Like motherfucker, I
I'm sorry.
I actually took the moment to pause and not say Kuririn, and then you said
And then
Usapu.
Usapu!
Usapu's-
Like,
Dude, I get a bonus but in any case, yeah, so it's pretty amusing hearing that Krillin voice, that Mace Hughes voice.
yeah, he's just straight up doing Maze Hughes.
Just like-
it's just Maze Hughes is who he is.
being a cocky tentacle monster that's just
Yep.
like, oh, that was a good attempt, blah, 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 blah. And it was like,
Yeah.
it was pretty good casting.
Yeah.
And then the main character is Nagisa Shiota,
Yeah.
which is this androgynous blue-haired creature.
Yeah,
guy.
I still can't.
Yeah,
I'm still
it's-
not buying him being a guy.
Okay, so I had to like look that up because so I'm watching the dub and I hear for the first episode I think I thought Nagisa. First off, the only time I ever heard Nagisa as a name was for a female character from Clannad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, it's a female. Looks like a female. It's a female name. Gotcha. And then they refer to him as a guy.
As a he,
yeah, as a he. So I was just like, wait, what?
And he's wearing the male uniform.
Yeah, and then that's what I realized, like he was wearing the male uniform. I'm like, wait a second. So then I went and I looked it up, and I was just like, okay, apparently like his mother makes him keep his hair long, but in school he's not allowed to have his hair past a certain length, so he's forced to put it up in pigtails.
Wow, none of that's been in the series
Yeah,
so
yeah,
far.
none of that gets established, but
Spoilers.
I had to look that up to find out because I was like, there's no way in hell this is a guy, and then so there actually is a reason for that, but they have yet to establish that.
So check this out, Jeff. It doesn't really look like a guy or a girl. It sort of looks like a guy with dumb blue hair. Like, just fucked up, like, I've put this up in the stupidest way possible. So I'm like, man, not even, like, cute androgynous, just sort of retard androgynous.
I don't know, I thought he was cute androgynous, but
But I have a thing for blue hair. You're like,
Low
yeah,
bar
and you have a
entry.
thing for Jerry Jewell. Shut the fuck up. At least one of these isn't a real dude, right? I'm like, you shut. Are you looking up Nagisa? Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're seeing the dumb hair.
yeah. There you
Yeah,
go. That's
that is
actual
that is
artwork.
indicative of how it looks
Yeah.
in it.
So what? Okay, going back to the dub of this.
yes.
Nagisa, the voice actress for him, I really liked the performance.
Oh God! What kind of
Jeff
pictures
is bringing up questionable pictures. Jeff is bringing up questionable pictures from the
Yeah.
internet.
It's a podcast.
Yeah.
It's such a visual medium. So in any
Yeah.
case, Jay, you were saying
Yeah, I was
words
gonna say like
about
the English voice actress they got for Nagisa definitely sounded, you know, she rides that nice fine line between, you know, not sounding
fine line.
like not sounding too effeminate, not, you know, just, you know, she sounds like it could be an actual boy's voice
Or
you
a
know.
girl's, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And with the Seiyu, when I went and I checked out the sub, just to compare, the Seiyu sounded more feminine, and I was like, so yeah, like, this is one of those cases where I actually definitely prefer the American voice actress.
So, Bob, do you have any comments about the U.S. dub versus Japanese? Go.
Yeah,
Yeah, I watched a lot of both, I guess.
yeah,
I honestly really liked all of them except for their PE teacher, who is like this military guy who comes in.
His name is Tadaomi
Karasuma.
Karasuma.
I liked his Japanese voice a good bit more. Just like I feel like what they went with in the English dub kind of works, but he just sounds too old. Like he sounds more like he's doing old man voice rather than just a mature man voice.
I thought he
Yeah.
was just trying to sound gruff and like
Yeah,
a gruff
that's all
military
I
guy.
got.
That's
Maybe.
what I got too.
I didn't get
Um,
old man out of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, something about it just stepped over that line for me and was like, this sounds odd.
yeah.
Weird.
I will say though, like Kono Sensei, a tentacle monster. Did we ever establish that?
No.
That was, okay.
No.
Yeah.
So the tentacle monster's name is Koro Sensei because it's some Japanese thing about like the word unkillable
yeah, it's a
hyphen
pun.
sensei. So it's nickname.
Yeah. Okay, so with Kono Sensei,
Which he
like-
said some remark, which I find remarkably interesting. He was like, "My name's not the sort of name you just tell people," and I'm like, "What?"
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah,
There's so much mystery.
yeah. So
Magic.
Just like the other anime we watched, right, Bob? No. So Koro
yeah, I was gonna
Sensei.
say, the voice acting for that character, I checked out, like I said, I checked out some of the sub, and like Sunny Strike does a completely different take on the character in terms of like how it's voice acted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, same attitude but completely different type of voice, and like I don't know if I'm just horribly biased towards Maze Hughes being a dick, but I really like Koro Sensei in the English dub a lot more as well.
I didn't watch both, but I think he did an excellent job.
Yeah,
with
I still
that.
can't believe that like this dub came out so well, considering it is a simul dub. I was thinking, okay, you know, because there are companies that do like that take their
So
sweet
you
time
get
with
Vic
a dub.
Mignogna to do half of the class.
So yeah, just you know, you have all these companies that do dubs. Well, not as many as we used to, but you know, they would take their sweet time, and the dubs come out like garbage.
Yep.
And here we have Funimation, who's just shitting out dubs every week, and they're like, yeah, high quality, fuck you.
This is easy. Get
Yeah,
on our
this is
level.
cool, yeah. Like they just make it look so easy, and they do such a great job. Like I was really surprised. Like I was, because I know with these simul dubs, they release, you know, yeah, like they're gonna release it all online, and then for the physical release, they're gonna go back and clean it up, like you know any type of weak performance and stuff.
It's still like I'm surprised that like it sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
There's no audio quality or issue I've noticed.
Yeah, like if this were on like the Blu-ray set, which I will
No one
definitely
would be
buying,
bitching.
Yeah, I would not be complaining if this is what the Blu-ray sounded like.
Yeah, which was astonishing. Yeah, I expected it to be a lot rougher.
Yeah, like rushed, some weaker performances,
Weird
maybe some
audio balance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some
stuff,
slip
but
shot
none of that.
casting. Yeah, but no, they're hitting it really well so far, at least from the first 4 episodes I saw.
Especially since Bob's just completely off mark on that PE teacher casting.
Yeah.
Like, if that were the case, maybe there would be... No, like, you want to talk about weird cast character in the English dub. You guys haven't seen him yet because he's in the 6th episode, but I mean, I guess the principal was veiled in earlier episodes in the shadows, but, like, the principal's unbelievably deep voiced.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievably! I'm
I
like,
think the Japanese version
that makes
also had a
Crispin
pretty.
Freeman sound like his balls haven't dropped yet. He sounds like Lord
mean,
Satan, just
The
like...
weird, the weird part is the principal is more of a villain than the Koro Sensei.
Yeah,
so
which-
he's like the real
villain.
villain.
But yeah, it's
So
just,
he's got to be that extra level of gruff.
yeah, I mean, it's not even gruff either. That's the incredible part. He's just like so deep. They had to make a bigger recording room to fit his nuts in it.
Is he also a black guy? Like, obviously?
No.
That would have been
I'm about to say,
great.
Funimation doesn't have black guys. I know, because they keep hiring Sabat to voice all the black guys that show up in anime.
Man, I'm surprised nobody's pitched a fit about that yet. Has
Yeah.
somebody bitched about them not hiring black voice actors?
I think the only black voice actor in the industry that we have, like as far as the anime industry goes, is the guy who voiced Jet Black in Cowboy Bebop. I think he's the only one.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like, they can pull from, like, game voice actors. That's not
let's say,
impossible.
like, I mean, like, it'd be cool to get Phil Lamar. Yeah.
Or the guy who did Big Band. Like,
Right.
that guy has a cool voice.
Rich Brown. That's
Rich
it.
Brown.
Yeah, so, yeah, just for some reason, though, like, I think what it is there are so few black characters in anime, it's just like, Christopher Sabat, because, like, I can only ones I can think off the top of my head is, Assistant Black from Dragon Ball and, Garter Belt from Panty and Stocking. Like, those are the only black characters I can even think of that Funimation's dubbed.
Yeah, I guess that's a really good point. If you don't have a large voice cast of, like, actually black characters, like, there are people who'll just be like, that's a black guy's voice. That's so silly. You put a white man character with a black voice. And I'm like, actually, that's a Japanese character. So they put a white person voice on a Japanese character. Which is equally weird. You're just not understanding that that's a Japanese person.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I feel like those moments usually present themselves like that it did in Assassination Classroom. They're like, hey, what's the Japanese word for unkillable? And I'm just like, wow, we're just going to shatter that fourth wall to be like, hey, this is based on a thing from Japan. Let's make this make sense. Because we're not going to change
And then
this.
there's also English class, which
is funny.
Right,
What's the
yeah.
subject of these lines? Man, these kids are really retarded.
right. A later episode, there's going to be an episode where they talk about the difference between L's and R's, and for that class, I have to wonder how they're going to deal with translating that.
That'll be fantastic. I'm
Yeah,
gonna look
this is
forward to that.
enhanced in the U.S. version because, like, they're teaching them these things they should know by kindergarten.
Also, man, having an English dub, you don't have to deal with horrible English from the English teacher.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
would
weird
count that as a
because
plus.
you
Yes.
know, like, because, like, you know, she isn't, you know, what was it, Yelovich? Like, yeah, she isn't Japanese. She's, what, like, Russian?
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
think Irina.
But she's
Yeah,
supposed to know like 4 languages fluently, and she can hardly speak English.
You want to talk about, like English teachers butchering English? I buy me strawberry eggs. Like, you know, during the eye catches, you know, they will say, I buy me strawberry eggs.
Oh, God, no.
No.
Don't bring
No.
this up.
No,
Don't
no.
bring this up.
No, like when they had, like, the English teacher do it, like, she was the absolute worst. Just,
Yes.
I buy me strawberry egg. It was just,
Yeah.
it was the worst. It was
That
just
was
the most
bad.
butchered one. I'm like, why did like the all the kids, like all the high school students do it fairly well, and then the fucking English teacher just dropped the ball entirely?
Maybe it's a statement. I mean, it would be a fair statement. There's a good chance that some otaku gamer probably has better English pronunciation than an English teacher.
Which is weird though, because, like, I know, like, they have, like, what was it, like, Death Note didn't have that problem. Like, Ray Penbar, like, he said English words correctly.
Yes. Once
in
in
the
a
sub.
blue moon, Death Note was 9 years ago, 10?
The manga's 10 years or 11 years old now. I think the anime is probably closer to 8.
2007?
Man, don't make me do math. I don't want to think that far back.
I don't want to think that. I'm old. So yeah, it's a really funny anime. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's much better than
Yeah, it's much better than the one we're
anime
moving on
we
to.
watched.
Oh, yeah.
So let's take a quick break and then talk about Testament of Sister.
New Devil.
So the Testament of Sister New Devil is an anime.
Yes.
We watched that anime.
Uh-huh.
Jeff was supposed to watch that anime.
Sounds like I got off on the.
Wait a second. This is directed by the guy who did Bamboo Blade and Heaven's Lost Prop. Man, fuck you guys.
and-
I'm glad I
and
didn't fucking watch-
Haganai.
Right, this
I liked
this direct-
Haganai.
Yeah, I honestly those were at least Haganai was a good one.
Heaven's Lost Property. Not
No,
so
that
much.
looked
No.
fine. That looked like smut.
I was about to say, like, that looked like smut, and Bamboo Blade, well, fuck aggro. Bamboo Blade was, okay, fine, what did you say? It was mediocre.
Right, it was mediocre at best.
Yeah. Not the fucking second coming of anime Christ that he makes it sound like.
And the director who did all these is Hisashi Saito. So, the original creator, because holy shit, is this based on a manga?
No, this is based
Thank
on.
God.
I thought for sure this had to be like a hentai game, but
Right.
no, it is based on a light novel.
A light novel?
Right? It's
A
like-
light novel?
They just
What? How many pages are about tweaking nipples?
probably a lot.
Okay, Dan, spoilers. All right,
I'm
you have
just-
to say the nipple tweaking.
No, I don't.
No, because if you talk about the nipple tweaking now, they'll tune out of the podcast. If you just save it for the end, you don't do the money shot in the first minute.
That was a tease
Okay.
for us to go into detail about the why and the how. the
Oh,
nipple
okay,
tweaking.
okay.
So the original creator is Tetsuto Uesu, which did Aesthetica of a Rogue Hero.
Which also looked like the same sort of smut.
Smut. See, okay. And we're going to go into the animation production, which is done by Production IMS. Data Live.
Date
Date?
A Live 2. And
Gonna be the Twin Tail. Now, Jeff, you're laughing a lot about Gonna be the Twin Tail. Is there a reason for that?
we had a chance to review that for ReeaBoots, and none of you guys took it up.
Just the name.
I remember Jeff kept going, I do like Twin Tails.
No, I don't like Twin
Oh,
Tails.
Okay.
Oh, right, we were threatening you with it. I'm like, but Jeff, Twin Tails.
Okay, so when we were divvying up these anime, like we were just trying to decide after like the last podcast, we were like, yeah, okay, Assassination Classroom, that's definitely going to be one of them. And then, you made, I'm assuming this was supposed to be a joke when you first threw out Testament of Sister New Devil.
See, he's talking to me.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Dan, I'm assuming that was supposed to be, you're being facetious when you threw that one out.
We haven't, like, we like to, okay, real quick. We like to shit on anime we review a lot. Like, a lot of times we're like, this is fucking miserable garbage and it's corporal punishment for me to be locked in a room with this anime. Like, this anime's so bad, I wish I was asleep instead. This anime's so bad, screensavers are more entertaining. Like, there are low lows to things we have said about animes, and I want, never at the outset of selecting any of these did we go, let's review that! That looks like garbage! And I felt we could do that just once.
Yeah, because I just remember like you go like that, and then Jeff's like, I like tits.
Because the thumbnail was mostly a fucking angular giant cow boob, basically.
Yeah.
Like, the nipple was enormous.
Yeah.
You could tell through the shirt.
Yeah.
And Jeff's like, I love tits.
Yeah, so that happens, and as soon as Jeff goes, like, I like tits, I immediately go, I call dibs on an Assassination Classroom. Because I was not going to fucking watch this. I knew I was going to hate it, and I would like to have at least a 2-podcast streak where I didn't fucking hate what you guys made me watch. Especially if I had stopped watching Card Captor Sakura to watch this piece of shit, I would have fucking choked you to death when I walked in the goddamn room.
To be fair, I have to watch both series every week.
Well, yeah, this is your goddamn podcast.
What? We share in the responsibility. Isn't that right, Jeff? Oh, wait, no, you watch something else.
I was playing video games.
And forgetting. What am I watching? Smut? Okay, this looks like smut.
Yeah,
So-
lolies and shit. Yeah, let's do
So,
that.
the Testament of Sister New Devil is as fucking insane and stupid as that title implies. In the first episode, our main character, Basara Tojo, is a high school student male whose father remarries or is going to get remarried, and he now has 2 younger sisters. So the 2 younger sisters move into his house, and he's all like, they're annoying and try to rape me. Which is weird, but it happens. And then he
Japan's
goes
weird, I guess.
It's just weird like that. That sort of stuff happens all the time in light novels, I guess. So in any case, he bikes off to the grocery store at one point with his older of his 2 sisters, which are younger than him, because they're referred to as his younger sisters, even though that one's in the same class as him. We will assume she is younger. So they go to the grocery store, and then some dudes are like, oh, hey girl, you want to hang out with us? Well, he's like, not there. And then the main character's like, oh, get your hands off of her. And then he's like, who are you? And the main character's like, my name's Basara. And then they're like, that's a dumb name. And he's like, not as dumb as your face. And the dumb punk's like, what's dumb? And then like he shoves a bike tire into the dude's face mid-sentence. And I was like, see, that's good. I like that. Not as dumb as your face, and then you run them over in midair with a bike. That's some good execution. So then he throws pepper in their face and kind of kicks a little ass, and then they bike off, and then they have a moment. It was like, oh, I'm sorry that I'm all rapey and a bitch to you. And he's like, it's okay. And they're looking at the city from this perch. This perch they're going to keep reusing as a location. And then
the only reason for that episode, I feel like it doesn't keep coming back.
And then no, he comes back.
What?
He comes back. I watched 7-ish episodes of this.
Jeez,
What the fuck? You don't even watch that many episodes of the good animes that we pick.
Well, I would have watched that video of Assassination Classroom, but the dub didn't get that far. And if I watch a Japanese, Jerry Jewel goes away.
Okay, I'm trying to think.
And then I cry.
What the hell did we watch last week?
Fucking, I don't know, but let's move on. So he gets home with her, and the dad's like, hey, I'm getting pulled overseas because, I do freelance photography, and being responsive is the #1 most important skill of freelance photographer. He's like, I'm leaving now. Bye. Take care of your younger sisters. And then he's like, okay, I'll take care of them. Blah, blah, blah. Family togetherness, I guess. Whatever. They're rapey. Then he leaves. The dad just leaves. He gets in a taxi and leaves. And then he comes back into the house, and the 2 younger sisters just sitting in a dark room, and it's all dark and ominous, and they're just staring into space. And he's like, hey, do you guys want to get food? And then one of them's like, I have a favor to ask you, Tojo. And he's like, what, you want sushi or eel? And then she's like, get out of your house. It's ours now. And he's like, what? And she's like, get out, this is ours, and shoots out a shockwave of magic, and he's like, whoa! But he doesn't, really overreact, he's just like, ugh, as he gets knocked back. And then she's like, we're gonna brainwash you and wipe away your memories and convince you that, living with your own sisters didn't work, so you're gonna go out into the country because she's a demon lord and I'm a succubus, and blah, blah, blah. And then she uses the spell to rewrite his memories, but check this, it doesn't work. And then she's like, what? Why didn't it work? And he's like, remember that part you said about demons and heroes? Well, I'm one of those! And he pops the sword out of his hand. I'm fucking not shitting you. They spent 80% of this episode being this dumb, fucking rapey, shitty sitcom thing. He pops the sword out of his hand and has, a badass metal gauntlet going down his whole fucking arm, and then just battles her. And then he's like, get the fuck out of my house. And then he calls his dad, and his dad's like, yeah, I know. I knew the whole time. That is the prior demon lord's daughter. I took them in because they were homeless, and we needed to take care of them because the demons are trying to get the power of the prior demon lord from her. And then he's like, what? Oh, shit. And then it cuts to that perch that they were at before, and she's like, I just wanted to see it one more time before we left. And the demons attack! And they're like, shooting cool anime magic. And then they're like, we have cool anime magic. You can't defeat us. And then he's like, yeah, well, what about this demon you didn't notice? And the demon she didn't notice punches her off the ledge, and she's like, oh no, I'm gonna die. And the main character, Basara Tojo, rides his bike up the wall of the mountain, because Japan has those. They have those 45-degree angle walls that go up a mountain. He rides it up that, leaps off, grabs her, lands on his feet and rolls, and then he's like, we take care of our little sisters. And then he kills the demons, and then they go home, and he's like, we're a family. And that's the first episode.
Okay.
That sounds riveting.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
I enjoy how stupid it is sometimes.
Yes.
Okay. That sounded way more amazing than I was expecting.
Yeah, I was expecting a lot more smut.
I was thoroughly entertained by that first episode, just fucking with me for 75%.
I was a bit checked out when you started describing it, because I'm like, yeah, I know this trope and this, yeah, all right. And then you got to make what I assumed was going to be bitch-ass, passive-aggressive main character.
Yeah.
Who apparently just pulls out a fucking sword and a gauntlet arm and is like, I'm a hero! Whoa, wait, what?
Yeah, right?
That's not part of the trope.
I mean, my favorite part is not only when he, it is such a Metal Gear Rising dialogue there when they're like, wait a second, how didn't the spell work? And he's like, remember those heroes? Appears behind her, fucking instant transmission fast. And he's like, I'm one of those. And it's just cranked up to 11 stupid.
Okay, so
And then
what if
every
you-
episode after that, smut.
Right, like that first episode kind of hooked me a little bit, and I kept watching it, and I was like, "Oh man, this is just getting really bad."
It's to the point, and I've watched Further Than Bob, so I can make some commentary later about like some things it does that makes it even worse as a series. But yeah,
I have this horrible habit where I like don't stop watching them. So no, you haven't watched.
No,
them.
I'm not saying. Before
I'm on the
this,
last episode.
Yeah, he told me that he was caught up.
So then we're gonna have a more engaged and even more spoilery conversation than usual. So yeah, a lot of this series is about the succubus Maria and the devil daughter.
Sister.
Yes, the one that's flat-chested and looks really, really young. What was it? There was a good line in there about it. Like he's like, "Cut it out, you lowly succubus,
Yes.
you lowly succubus bitch," or something like that. And I was like, that one sentence is kind of good. And that was the highlight of that episode. And the devil's daughter, Mio Naruse. Yeah, Naruse. You didn't copy it down. In any
I
case,
forgot to.
yeah. You're just
was
like,
like-
whatever, chicks. Just one name, Mio Yuki
Wow,
Maria.
I thought I did that with Basra too.
Yeah, no.
I-
Bias.
Bias, obviously.
Yeah, so in any case, they're just trying to defend Mio Naruse, the devil's prior demon lord's daughter, from the demons that are trying to take her, and then the heroes who are trying to kill her, and all that stuff. And that's basically the series. And there's this other element, an important plot element, very important, comes in episode 2, where they do a master-servant bind. Contracto, wherein Mio is then bound to Basara as his servant.
See
And if she does anything despite Basara, it harms her with a curse. It's kind of like that anime we brought up last episode, which I can't remember the name of again, where the god pulls like a soul out of the nether and creates a weapon out of
that
it.
thing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Noragami.
Yeah, you're
Noragami.
right.
Yeah, you got it. So yeah, it's kind of like Noragami, except for when she spites her master, she gets horny as fuck.
Right, because of course the contract was done with the succubus, so
But
and the whole explanation for them even needing to do this contract is for this way you can locate her without having to like call her or something. You can feel her presence.
if her cell phone's down and the GPS doesn't work, with this contract you'll be able to find her. And then later on they try to work it in as another layer of plot element. It's like, oh, that's making you more powerful.
Yeah,
Because you have more servants. And it's like, yeah, okay, sure. There was more reason than every episode. She's like, oh, I'm going to spite him. Oh, he's talking to that girl. I should interrupt them. And then, like, the heart collar tattoo
of course
on her neck.
she's hardcore tsundere, so she just can't stop it. And then
it starts flashing and pulsing, and she's like, in the middle of a cafe. And then, I shit you not, twice in the first 7 episodes, he has to nipple tweak her to climax to get over the effects of the curse. Because she has gigantic boobs.
Yeah, it's,
Like, unreasonably huge. Dangerous.
the censorship
Top
on
level
this,
danger boobs.
the censorship on Crunchyroll is extreme. Like
Top level
actually-
danger
You
censorship.
don't actually see anything. There's gigantic pictures.
By
of
episode
people.
4, you can't see half of this anime.
Yeah,
And I mean
it's
literally
legit-
time and screen space.
Like, I don't know. It's always funny how much they censor it, just because they censor like little pictures of characters over them entirely.
By episode 7, I just stopped looking at the fucking screen because, like, seriously, there were light shafts and fog and little pictures of chibi characters holding handy cams over vaginas so often that it's like, why am I even looking? The sounds are pretty indicative of what's going on. And not 1, not 2, but I think 3 characters gave the main character a back massage in a shower with their tits.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They just lathered it up and went to town, and they got off really hardcore. And I'm like, what is with his back? Is it like...
Well, he's Basara Tojo. He's He's basically Shiki
Tono, yeah. You noticed that too?
Yes.
It was like, everyone, calm down. It's just a high school guy.
Okay.
I
Don't compare him to Shiki Tono, because that sounds interesting, and I don't want to see this, and they'd be like...
He is basically Shiki Tono. Like he's got amazing powers, but he's just some dude.
I like that he's like covered in scars too. Like they're trying really hard to make him look super hardcore.
That is so incredible. That's an incredible thing about this anime. It's like, here's this high school student, and you spend the whole first episode being like, man, he has an insane amount, like guts levels of scars everywhere.
Yeah, like his fingers even, you can see the little scars between every finger.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just like, what the fuck? And then, like, by episode 3, they're like, oh, he lived in a hero village, and then he got outcast. Aren't you interested? Why? And I'm like, no.
Okay.
No,
honestly, if this just didn't have the smut part, I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
But see, that's the thing. Like, that wouldn't do it for me. It would just be another somewhat alright shonen series.
So it'd be Akame ga Kill.
I'd say it's to be better than that. I honestly think the current state is better than Akame ga Kill.
Hold on.
I don't know. By episode 7, I think it starts to undersell itself compared to Akame ga Kill. Like the universe starts becoming less interesting. There's an element they bring in episode 6 or 7, I believe it's 7, wherein they pop up barriers. They go to do a massive fight between the main team and some hero clan, and they pop up a barrier which extends out over a huge amount of the city, and it just literally makes people disappear and probably doesn't affect buildings, so it makes no sense whatsoever.
It does the X thing.
No, it does a reboot thing. Like, it just...
I think X probably did it too. A lot of things have done this exact thing.
I feel like X...
It's closed space in X.
Wouldn't it affect the buildings?
Okay, in X, the way it worked is it was a closed space, and anything that happened within a boundary, it wouldn't affect the real world unless the person who created the barrier was killed. Then anything that happened within the barrier, then it would take effect in the real world.
Now, from everything I know, that is not the case in this. So literally, it's like, this is pretend universe, so we can animate a cool thing, but not have to have ramifications for our universe that might be interesting.
Way too many animes pull on that exact thing. Like, what was the Shakugan no Shana pulls the same thing.
Wait, I don't remember them having barriers like that.
Yeah, they put up some weird barriers every time they went to fight, pretty much.
But don't worry, Jeff. There were a lot of tits.
There were.
Yeah, okay, they had barriers, but I don't think... Oh, no, it froze and Shakugan no Shana, it kind of, like, froze time, but, like, anything... Because anyone who got, like, killed during the fights would actually get killed. That was a thing. Like damage to buildings, characters get... So it basically froze everyone in time, but if a monster like smashed into a person, it would just completely kill them.
Yeah, I don't know.
So there was there was ramifications in Shakugan no Shana.
Like, they removed the bystanders, they removed the damage to the buildings, and the main characters still take damage. And yeah, that's not interesting enough. Like, that's...
It felt pretty generic and boring, honestly.
Yeah, that's the
thing.
But
they pull away from doing that in the later episodes. Like, that never comes back, strangely enough.
Something that I found weird, like very much bad American television scale.
Yeah.
They introduced an element that played into his backstory, the whole whatever shift, spiritual shift or whatever. It was him affecting the energy in a space, but like when he did it in his youth, he nuked a village basically and killed a ton of childhood friends.
Right.
Like a shitload. Well, they introduced that in the beginning of this episode, and by the end of it, he's like, I've mastered how to use this in a controlled way. But it's like, but wait, no, when you were outcast from the village, it's very strongly implied that you just didn't battle a lot because donning the sword at all is emotionally damaging to you. Which they restate and go into later. Now
gets over it.
Here's other stupidisms. We can just boil this down. He gets over it. He gets over it and retrospectively has years of training. Because that's the thing. They're like, he now is able to control it. This thing he hasn't done in 15 years and is emotionally scarred about doing.
Right, but in the anime, he's forced to use it in a controlled manner, and that somehow teaches him to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's that moment to save his sisters, Dan.
Another stupidism we can boil this down to. Tits.
Okay.
There are tits everywhere.
I think that
There's a nurse at the school who has like double Fs. Like it is fucking unreasonable.
the intro. I want to talk about
Only
this for a
double
second.
Fs? Only double. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, this is anime we're talking about. I need, like, quadruple, like, Rs.
Yeah, nobody is Ekin scale here.
No one's Ekin scale. Or
'Cause
is that the name of
I
it?
think
Ekin?
it's
Aiken.
Okay, Aiken.
Aiken. Okay.
I was like, it's not the
Aiken.
name of a fucking snake in Pokemon. I know that.
And he's talking about
Those
scales,
imaginary
too. He's talking about, like, Aiken scales. I'm like,
You know, snake scales.
Okay, so...
But
oh,
you gonna ask a question?
with the intro, one thing,
Yeah.
like I find it somewhat interesting that there was almost certainly some meeting somewhere. Like, okay, what's the sexiest way that wings can pop out of women? Like, that's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
oh,
I mean, that intro is just smutty on the scale that this whole thing is.
Right.
Like, they did it. Because you get the main character... Oh, man, there's just so much in so little time. When they show every character for the first shot, they get the 4, maybe 5 camera angles on screen simultaneously that are supposed to be different camera angles of her doing a thing. For Maria, the succubus, who's 10... They have her rubbing her boobs on the ground, leaning forward while on all fours. You get a shot of her ass, a shot of her face while she's like, and then a shot of her boobs squishing up against it, and then a pulled out shot of all of it. And they do this for every person, but of course when they do it for main character guy, it's like, oh, look at his cool pose. And I'm like, okay, that's painting him in a different light from everyone else. But then at the end of the intro, all 4 main characters are just nude. Just standing there fucking in the buff, and they're projecting scenes from the anime over them, like as though they were literally standing in front of a projector, just fucking naked.
Yeah, it's
Smutty to the max.
That's about the level of smuttiness of the OP for Yuri Kuma.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the vocalist, even like the way she's singing, she's like on the verge of an orgasm the whole song.
Good.
okay. So, you guys talk about intros. It clicked to me. I was like, oh, fuck. We didn't talk about Assassination Classroom's fucking intro.
Well,
Because that was a really good intro.
okay, let's get into that.
Okay.
I thought it was animated like shit.
Yeah, it's not animated well. It's one of those. It was
it's
very
catchy. I'd
yeah.
say.
It was visually interesting. It was super goddamn catchy, and it reminded me a shit ton of like the shit that Shimbo does for his intros. Especially Pane Pone. It was very Pane Pone.
Okay, I think it's 50% interesting looking and 50% low quality animation garbage reused 5 times over.
Yeah.
Because they have this one animation of everyone fist pumping or waving.
Yeah.
And they do a digital 3D place, the sprites are floating in the correct spots for the classroom seats, and it just pans over them. It does this like 4 or 5 times in that intro, and it didn't look good once, in my opinion.
I think that's cool that they add characters as it goes to the intro.
Okay.
Like that's neat.
And then they did this animation of Koro-sensei spinning and wigging out with his tentacles. Mm-hmm. And
I thought it was visually interesting, even though it was repetitive.
yeah,
but,
if the spinning thing with him was smoother, I think that would have looked really cool.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look smooth enough for it to look amazing, so it just looks like a thing.
yeah.
Like, oh, they did a thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I just found mostly like the framing of how they did all that, and just I don't know. I'm kind of a sucker for like synchronized animation between characters, and like the theme song was just super goddamn catchy.
Yeah, I feel like that is one of the more catchy themes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come off as super mainstream sounding. It's a more vocal heavy song instead of overproduced weirdness like a lot of animes get. I can't articulate it better than that, but
Yeah. I
Sounds
would say
like there weren't enough boobs in this intro.
Yeah. Okay. So, I had 2 thoughts. One was that. The other one was, okay, you're talking about just how smutty this was to the point to where, just they're just putting up pictures and you can't even see like half of an episode because of just the insane amount of smut.
yeah, some episodes.
I need to ask people like who watches maybe who watch these animes on the regular, censored or uncensored. What the fuck is the point? Like, I don't get it because there's pornography, and even if you need animated women, there's hentai. You can get
okay. You're saying.
Well,
why
you
do
see,
you people
can't-
enjoy
they-
this?
They can't get the budget to make that much or that quality of hentai, but they can get the budget to make that quality of anime. And it's just barely not hentai.
I've seen Bible Black. Like, It
Isn't
has
that
fairly...
like 10, 20 years old, something like that by now?
Yes, but it's fairly well animated for what it was. And by that I mean it was fairly well animated for pornography.
Welcome to the WeeaBoots pornography cast.
Man!
Here's your
now-
host, Jeff and Jay.
Go for it, guys.
Okay, so today
I like
we're
boobs.
talking about La Blue Girl.
think if you have
It's
to
a
pull
classic
out
from the 90s.
You know, the uncensored version of what's the name of that anime? They just did a live action one, Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, Kite.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The uncensored version of Kite's just
know-
so much better.
Okay, yeah, let me just say, like, you have things like that where I get that at least. Where
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
no, like
yeah, 'cause-
we want to
because-
talk about
because
Kite
that
on
was-
WeeaBoots. Kite's awesome.
Because, that was one, it had, like,
Also,
fair-
is
like,
it
it
Kite
never-
or Kite?
it's Kite. It's because it's Kite and Mezzo are those two animes.
Okay.
And, they have awesome action sequences. They're very well animated. And if you're looking for pornography, it has just straight up scenes of full penetration pornography that shows everything. So there you go.
So there you go. It's a
So
full
what the-
fucking meal.
So yeah, it's
You
not.
don't get shortchanged.
Yeah.
Unlike fucking the Testament of Sister Daredevil.
I mean, he just pours syrup on a girl. You don't snap.
Yeah, like, this
no,
is-
really, Bob's being honest. There's
Oh.
a scene where he has to use an elixir to enhance the. And because the curse keeps happening, her skin is more sensitive than before, even. And
I seriously like. I
no
don't-
joke, at the end of the second episode, she came 9 times on the floor, and it cuts to Maria wiping it up.
Yeah, I don't
Wow,
see how
I-
multiple.
You forgot about that?
I forgot about that.
I
It
don't-
is so bad.
I don't see how multiple of these shows get fucking made. Is what I don't get.
'Cause they
don't
sell.
you just need one? You just need one to fucking exist. And there you go. You jerk off to that if you really need something high budgeted
they
to
need
jerk
one
off
every
to.
season.
There's more than one every season, Bob.
Yeah, well,
This
see,
is
that's,
true.
that's what I'm saying.
I know
The
because
life-
Funimation picks them all up.
the
Right.
life
They
of
didn't
it,
get this one. I was surprised.
the life of the Japanese otaku is very rough. They don't have normal porn over there, Jay.
But thing is, though, they censor their pornography. Oh God, it does.
Yeah,
Okay, so I
yeah,
guess this
yeah.
is the same.
Yep.
To
Right.
them.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. It's fucking tough in Japan. It is for real, you guys.
I guess I'm down with the struggle.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real in Japan.
This will probably get merchandising.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Her boobs are too big
Yeah.
for them to not.
Like-
and the succubus is too young.
Okay.
Just think about
The
the
thing-
mouse pads.
Okay, the thing is, okay,
Well, one
so
of those.
with these anime, with these animes, these smutty, trashy, like Funimation picks up almost all of these. And first, I am just filled with violent anger when I see these animes get turned into fucking anime classics editions
Right.
because they sold enough to not be a save edition. But then I see something like fucking Princess Jellyfish gets a save edition, and this shit is an anime classic. I want to just throttle the entire anime fandom in the U.S. I hate fandoms. There we go.
I feel like most human
I can't
beings
have nice things.
Most human beings want to throttle the majority of anime fandom in the United States. It's a very gross hobby to be into.
Well, the thing is though, it's just it's like every fandom in general seems to suck for me, but like the anime fandom pisses me off on that level where it's just like stop watching goddamn garbage so I can get good things licensed, you motherfuckers.
Check this out. That's movies. That's television.
Yes.
That's music. That's everything.
I know.
Welcome to the
This
human
is why
experience.
it's just
You can't have nice things, Jay. This-
lowest common
Because no
denominator
one can.
cocksuckers.
Which is why you should make obnoxious internet films that are digitally distributed at a maybe somewhat high price. Not implanting that idea now to later bake on it, fan base. Just saying.
Just an idea. just kind of spitball some ideas.
Don't think about it. Just let it sit in your brain and nestle and grow into a tree that gives me $8. But yeah, no, like this fucking anime, like it is like its writing is like just so fucking by the numbers. Like at the beginning of the episode, have this guy who's like, "Hey, stranger, you really made an enemy of all the guys in school because the hot chicks like you," and then it turns out he's working for the demons. Does anyone say anything on screen? They are involved with the demons of the hero somehow.
Right.
That's fucking terrible.
It is. I kind of enjoy that the main character is pretty quick to catch on to things, at least. Like, he's not incredibly dense, like we often get from main characters. Like he
Believe
figures
it.
out the.
Believe it. or if our fan base prefers, date bio.
But yeah, like he picks up on his classmate being the demon, like by episode 4, I think.
By the end of the episode, he's a demon.
Right. So.
And he's just like, I thought you were... It is such a stupid plot element, too. Like, the way he figures it out, you guys, is only that kid knew how to unlock the room to the ceiling of the school. Like, to get on the roof.
They also had, like, the other things of, like, hey, you dodged my vitals when you did this.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah,
it was very contingent on that first part.
Yeah, it was a bit.
You know, I'm just gonna go and throw one out here. Like, if people want to see a fan service anime with exposed nipples,
Wait. We didn't say anything about exposed nipples.
Well, yeah, I'm about to make a recommendation so that way I can get something better than this.
Better than this.
That's fantastic action sequences, hilarious comedy. Go watch Mahoromatic. That one was awesome. It's like one of the few smutty animes where I'm like, that was a great... It was made by Gainax, for fuck's sake.
I'm just going to make recommendations at random. Go watch the Cell Saga. There's a hot scene where, Cell gets up against the Hya-chan, and she's like, Hya-chan's frozen, and she has to warm her up with her body.
That was a great episode.
That was.
There's this one episode of X-Files where the inbred people cut off...
Sounds hot already.
They cut off their mom's limbs, like her arms and her legs, and then just kind of kept her underneath the bed on like a little caster wheel board, and they would just bang her.
No, that was Red Shoe Diaries. I'm sorry.
No,
That's a very weirdly
that was definitely an
necrophilia.
That's really fucked up for the
Yeah,
X-Files.
it is.
It was actually. I remember seeing it as a kid, and I was like, never watching X-Files again.
I was saying, like, I watched a lot of X-Files as a kid. I never saw that one.
It was seriously like these 3 crazy inbred brothers, and then their house was all booby-trapped with, like, shotguns and stuff because they didn't want anyone getting in there.
So, for some reason, that reminded me of an episode of, I believe it was of Hannibal, right?
Okay.
So there was an episode of Hannibal where no shit, Jigsaw from the Saw movies plays a Southern man.
Oh, okay.
Who has sex with his sister and has an inbred child, and they just leave it in the forest.
Does she become?
And then it comes back to murder them with his retard might.
Huh.
Yeah. It was a good episode of Hannibal. The whole episode, I'm like, who the fuck is that?
See,
Looks up on phone. Oh, god damn it, of course it's Jigsaw.
Yeah, but I was like, it's like, I want to watch that just for the fact
Just
that
for
Tobin...
Jigsaw.
Yeah, that's like Tobin Bell was like the thing that made those movies awesome. Like, even
Yes.
after they killed his character off, they found excuses to keep showing him in the fucking series.
Yeah, and he made that fucking series.
Yeah.
Too bad he can't get enough jobs outside of that.
Yeah, because like even people who like don't like those movies are like, man, Tobin Bell was fucking awesome in those movies.
Yep. Hey, at least you know you may not get good anime or good music or good television, but you got like too many Saw movies.
Yeah. I mean,
is that good?
I mean, for me it was. I mean, like Saw is one of those things I will not like openly recommend to people
because I feel dirty.
I mean, I openly recommended it to you. You enjoyed it.
I mean, it was good.
Yeah,
That's the surprising thing. That's the.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Sucker
And now we're gonna get like a whole bunch of comments. Saw was shit. Like, no, it's well written.
I'm trying to imagine a weeaboo who just hates Saw. Like
You'd
that's a
be
weirdly
surprised.
specific cross section of a human being.
Like it's weird too, because like the people who hate Saw.
I hate Saw because it's exploitatious. You watch anime,
right?
Right.
Like you watch like maybe
don't...
5 if that's the case.
now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna get back to my review of the Testament of Sister New Devil. Thank you. Bob, you also put the first and last name of the
I
the
did.
male, other male.
Those are the two I copied straight from Wikipedia. I just was able to. Lars. That's the name of the.
Is that the demon name?
I think that's his demon name.
I think that was his demon name. And they murdered it when they said it, of course. Robert Shaw. But yeah, in any case, Bob, would you recommend the Testament of Sister New Devil
I
to
can't.
anyone?
I thought
think
it was really
Who
good.
do you?
I think it's.
That first episode is worth a watch.
I feel it'd be hilarious if the uncensored version came out and you still couldn't see anything.
Yeah, like if
I-
they didn't have nipples.
Right, that happened with one of these shows where it's like they have massive censorship, and then literally nothing in the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
Like Barbie doll characters
Jesus
and places where they're like, well, she shouldn't be wearing panties there. She is.
Now, even though I spoiled it for you guys, I still think the first episode is worth watching because it's insane.
Yeah, okay. I'll buy that.
I wish every episode was as crazy as the first because that shit would get like they would be in space negotiating intergalactic demon treaties by episode 4. But instead, episode 4 involves more tit massages and fighting the same demons that they're always fighting.
Man, now I want to see the anime you just fucking made up.
I can write it and then we'll just throw it at Japan and be like, hey, anybody? What's that? Suda 51 wants to make a game? Sure.
Hey, we didn't talk about outros for the first one, Assassination Classroom.
Okay, let's do that.
Outros.
So yeah, we showed Jeff the 2 outros, so that way we could all talk about it. And Jeff, you had some choice reactions. Jeff, what did you think? Let's start with Assassination Classroom's outro.
It sucked.
Deep.
It was the chalk artwork was terrible.
I think intentionally.
Yeah,
probably.
You think? Even so, it was just bad.
I mean, like seriously, that's kind of artistry. Like, I seriously doubt like they that wasn't intentional.
I mean, like, not even just like the way it looked. I mean, the entire portrayal of the chalk outro was just, it looked bad. I didn't like it.
So I'm going to come in and say basically what the concept of this outro is it starts at one end of a chalkboard and it starts drawing in moments that the teacher's having with the kids in chalk, and it's panning over the whole thing, and it's pseudo-animated as it is doing this, and it just slowly pans over this whole thing and drawing it in.
The chalk is sort of not just chalk, but also doing that light effect that you can see sometimes.
I think it only does a light effect like on the stars. I don't remember. Anyhow.
But I don't know.
But yeah, so, and then at the end of panning across the whole thing, it draws another thing in the middle, which is the Earth with the children in it and the stars, and it zooms out, and then the edge of the chalkboard has some writing that's rapidly changing, and it's in Japanese, so I can't read it. And it's the classroom, and the chalkboard was there, and nobody's in the classroom. And that is the concept. I also hated this outro. I did not like the song. Jeff also cringed once the song started, I believed. Or
Yeah.
Actually, I think he did for
Hello,
both.
shooting
but
star.
yeah,
whatever.
I am waiting for, and then there's a pause, and you might have missed that English, but after that, it just beats you over there. Hello, shooting star again. Yeah, it was bad. That was
beautiful,
my song.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, his...
I was
Yeah,
training.
we need to do a series called Dan Covers Anime Outros.
Oh man, Dan will love that because I'll do the instruments too. Like fucking Nichijou, I'm doing the horns.
You could be the Smooth McGroove of anime, Dan.
Keep me what best friend. So in any case,
Wow.
what did you two think about the outro for Assassination Classroom?
I'll let Jay go first.
I liked it just fine. I actually didn't.
What did you like about it?
Like, just, I mean, it's one of those, like, I don't, it's not like, oh my god, it's a great fucking outro. No, it was just like, I'm like, okay, it's a cute outro. Like, it was completely inoffensive. Like, I kind of like the chalk idea. And it was just kind of easy listening music. I didn't hate the song. It was, yeah.
Now, you said it was cute. Now, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong. He missed Nichijou week, right?
He did.
Maybe his bar is lower than ours. Maybe that's what the issue is.
I'm just saying, it was a completely inoffensive outro, and it could have, like, it wasn't just, still images panning over. It looked like it had some effort put into it.
I'm going to go ahead and come in here and kind of say almost the exact opposite. Because it's slightly animated and it is panning really slow. I'm going to say it's barely removed from still images.
I don't
And
know.
I
It
do
wasn't
find
even-
the song grating.
The chalk
It is
drawings weren't even
high-pitched.
drawn on. It would they just kind of appeared chalk drawings.
Yeah,
now there's a
it's
squiggly
kinda
just flashed into place.
Yeah, it's that writing sort of thing that you do in After Effects or whatever to just fade in the drawing that you made or writing or whatever.
Yeah.
And Bob, you were gonna
I don't
come
know.
in and back Jay up.
Yeah, I didn't think this was that bad. I enjoyed it.
I mean,
it's
like-
not bad.
I think it's on the lower half of outros. I think it just falls into that. It's not a positive feeling when I watch it. It's just,
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm the guy out of all of us. I feel, I don't know about you, Jay. I don't know your viewing habits. It's been a while since we watched anime together, but I think you fucking cheat because you and Tosh both skip intros and shit all the time. So I'm the guy who's
Basically,
watching it
only
every episode.
Only when we binge stuff do I do that.
I
I
watch
watch
this-
this every week, and I watch through both sides of it.
Now, for every fucking series we do, I watch the intro and outro every fucking episode because I want to have a full understanding and appreciation of what's going on. Maybe if I had a space of a week between each viewing, I would somehow not notice how grating and annoying the vocals in that were. Because
I don't know.
honestly-
I like those vocals.
Yeah, I was
it
saying
didn't- wasn't grating to me.
even when the English hit, it didn't I saw Jeff cringe. I was like, oh, that's weird.
It wasn't the fact that she was saying the English. It was the timing of it.
Yeah,
and how it was just
It's stumbling.
Yeah.
It's a stumbling cadence to the way she sings
Yeah,
it.
it was
I mean,
just
that's the thing.
awkward.
It's not just that it's English.
Yeah, I mean, the tempo.
Because
was weird
Kimi
at
wa
that
best
point.
best friend, you'll notice half of that
yeah, I
is
think
English.
Just the song itself was just poorly made.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't I actually kind of enjoyed the song. It was kind of nice, little easy listening.
Now-
like I said, it was completely inoffensive. And let me just say, as far as setting where the bar is set for me, as far as good outros go, those are all Shaft. Shaft makes great fucking outros. They put effort and shit into them. Death Note, Madhouse does pretty good outros.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not oh my god, this was a great outro or anything. It was just it was completely inoffensive. And I'll be honest, I kind of checked out by the end of. I mean, I watched all the outro. I watched the outro every time, but I pretty much checked out at that point every time. So
I mean, it's not visually interesting because it's panning really, really slowly. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of a normal reaction to stop looking at the screen somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I
middle of
preferred
it.
that over them just showing stock images and just panning over that.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely better than Gourmet Girl, which I can't remember. But
No, Gourmet Girl had a real outro.
had a great outro.
oh wait, no, yeah, it did. I'm thinking
You're
of the
thinking-
intro.
Yeah, the intro was fucking terrible to that. the
Saikano's
outro.
intro. God, Saikano's intro.
Yeah.
God, Saikano's intro.
Oh yeah, she just could not sing at all.
I
missed-
meant more of the visuals, but yes, she couldn't sing.
But yeah, so
Either.
we're kind of split on this. Where Bob and
Now,
I it's completely inoffensive.
I'm not
and
trying to
you guys are shit.
editorialize here. I'm just providing some context. Now, Jay, you like Lil Jimmy Urine of MSI, and Bob listens to Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, the soundtrack, and both of you think those are
Okay,
genuinely good
actually,
music.
okay, let me
I'm just saying. I'm not saying anything.
That just okay. Let me just say, whenever I'm script writing for videos, I always listen to the Revengeance soundtrack. That's what I listen to. That's my background music to writing every fucking script is fucking Revengeance.
So I'm not saying anything about Jeff's or my taste in music compared to yours and how that may parallel where we fall on this outro theme. I'm not saying that. I'm just providing some context for the listeners
Yeah,
slash viewers, the viewiners.
yeah. But yeah, and I
But
don't
you
actually
liked
cons-
it.
Yeah, I thought it was alright.
You thought it was all right.
I
Is that
thought
like a
it's-
medium feeling? Like out of 10, is that a 5 or a 6, 7?
I guess like a 7.
A 7?
Yeah, for me, it's okay. Say like completely neutral, and then when I say I like it, I'm just kind of 6
Yeah.
and a half.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just barely enough just past.
Just being
you know,
positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Again,
now-
I'm
That-
not saying this is amazing. This
Right,
is,
no, I get that.
Yeah,
I know words and their meanings.
yeah.
Now, Jeff, out of 10, you get to go 1 to 10, so don't say 0.
I wouldn't say 0.
Let's say 2.
I mean,
five is
they
neutral
have an
and then-
outro, so it's at least a 1. I'd probably it's
how that works.
3.5 maybe. I don't know. It's not. It's
Yeah, I put it at a 4 because I feel like 3.5 is as I said, I watch the intro and outro of every episode that my girlfriend doesn't get up to change and skip.
yeah. I always
Which
watch
it
the
annoys
intro
me
and outro.
but in any case, 3 and a half. That is when I get up to skip it, which it takes a lot. I put this as a 4. It's not memorable. I'm not gonna remember it come next week.
I don't think shooting stars thing is stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Like it won't.
Yeah,
it won't
same
leave.
here. Like
It's haunting, lilting melody.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So okay, and then we also watched. Oh man, Bob, you're gonna have to
The
click over.
Testament of New Sister Devil.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's. I'm pretty sure he's accurate.
I mean, all of those words are in it.
I don't remember watching that one.
It would be the document that starts with Tada Omi Karasuma. Because, oh, never mind.
yeah.
There we go.
The Testament of Sister New. Yeah, Bob was correct.
All right.
Okay, the Testament of Sister New Devil.
Um,
So we watched that outro too.
Now this is what I would call the lowest of low grade outros because it's just a single picture it pans over.
Yeah, see, this is what I was bitching about.
Direct music. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even remember the song. Nothing about it is memorable.
I remember the very, very beginning of it because I was like, oh, this is really catchy. And then it went to after that. But,
That voice.
yeah, honestly,
like-
I liked it because of the terrible voice.
Ugh.
Like, it was just, yeah, like, it was
So-
overproduced,
Okay,
terribleness, and that's kind of why I liked it.
maybe I'm gonna lower things. I need to make some room here.
Yeah.
So Assassination Classroom pops up as a 3.5, solid 3.5, and once we hit 3, I skip these things. This thing is just barely tolerable, Assassination Classroom. But that puts the Testament of Sister New Devil at a 4.
Oh, yeah?
It is ever so slightly better in my opinion.
But it had like a single picture it panned across.
But-
that
Yes.
was awful.
But, Bob, tits.
It did have lots of
Don't
those.
be a faggot.
Okay.
There's tits.
Man,
You're
I
right.
wish-
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10s. No, it's not even that. It's just it cut to enough different images where they were different enough from each other to be visually diverse. I'm not even seeing.
images until the very beginning had a different image and the very end had a different image.
Okay,
that is it.
that's not the case. No.
We can watch it again. It pans
Dude,
over
it has
a
the
single
sword,
thing.
it pans over the chick, it pans over a bunch of different
It
characters.
pans over all the characters, and that chick switches to a picture of just 2 swords in the ground. That's it.
No, that isn't how that went.
That's how that went.
I think I remember more than 2.
Yeah, there were more than 2 pictures it panned over.
I think what Bob's trying to say is that, like, I think he's counting the images of them panning over the individual girls as a single thing.
I mean,
That all seemed like one part of one bigger picture that it's just panning over.
It does hard cut. It does, but
yeah,
it is,
either way, I'm not promoting the visuals as anything good or remarkable. I'm saying they're both bad.
Yeah.
I just really think
I
that
think Bob's just offended that you considered it just a little less bad.
well, basically, fuck Bob, because like if this song in the middle cut into some stumbling English, that was a weird melody, because it's not even, it's the cadence of how she is singing it that is so bad about that other thing. That is part of what just like, that I'd probably put this down there with it. But yeah, I didn't like either of these outros at all. I couldn't fathom anyone just being like, oh man, that was a really good outro. I need to watch that again. Like, none of these rank, Rurouni Kenshin. Yep, none of them. Yeah, none of them do that.
Yeah.
Well, nothing's done that in 20 years.
There we go.
Oh, go no, hold up.
Don't, Jay, quick,
no.
get the booze. Get the booze, Jay.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's actually been 20 years.
No, I think it actually has been, because that's like
For
9
Japan.
Yeah.
For us, not
Oh, yeah.
quite.
Yeah, no, I think it's more
So
like...
you're safe. Because you're not Japanese.
Sorry, like I keep forgetting that it's like 2015 and Toonami was like
1999.
Yeah. Actually before 1999, because 99 was my freshman year, and I had already been watching Dragon Ball Z for
You just dated yourself.
whatever. I'm almost 31. I don't give a shit.
I don't give a fuck anymore.
I'm gonna be dead in a few years,
One can only hope.
right?
Wow, Jeff.
You know what? The sooner I die, the less of this shit I'm gonna have to watch.
Less shitty outros you'll have to consume.
Right.
And then shit out opinions on.
So yeah,
Yeah, I feel like the intro for Assassination Classroom is the best thing out of all the intros and outros from these 2 animes.
right.
Like the intro for Testament hits the exact same level as the outro of just like This is fucking poorly animated garbage with the song that isn't offensive enough for me to skip it.
The outro for Yuri Kuma wasn't so bad. I definitely rated it above these two.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
That doesn't take
the Utena director there seems like he always has really interesting stuff for the outros, intros.
Like car women.
Yeah. Man.
Whatever all
Yeah,
that was.
I really need you guys to see the series because, man.
I saw enough of the series to go, what the fuck? Because I saw the movie years ago. So seeing the series, I'm like, what the fuck? This can't be the same thing.
Yeah, imagine how it was for me doing it the other way around. Because like I bought the box sets.
Yeah.
And I go through. I'm like, well, I
And then
watched the
all of
entire
my
series.
comments I've ever made about Utena seems insane. And you're like, man, Dan's a jackass. You watch
Pretty
the movie and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because I'm just like, I think I paused it. I turned to Agro, who has his headphones on. I'm like, Agro, over here. And he takes the headphones off. I'm like, he turned into a fucking car. And it's like, yeah, you didn't know that? I'm like, no. Also, I thought this was some sort of weird metaphor. And then fucking Shiori just fucking
I'm a car too.
It's like, I can turn into a car too. That's where it stops being metaphor, where someone else acknowledges that. And,
Yep.
What the fuck, Ikuhara? That shit just derailed bad.
Yep. So that outro was pretty good, Jeff.
The lesbian bear thing didn't have a good outro.
It was better.
Okay.
Better.
Where would you rank it?
Like the Prince of Bel Air.
A 5. So
It
he's
is
neutral.
down the middle.
Yeah.
It is better than bad.
Yeah, the intro was better.
Better than bad. It's good. All right. What?
No.
Oh, come on.
Nope.
People still never Ren and Stimpy references. Come on.
I
Come on.
know, me too. But this is our anime podcast.
Oh my
We
god,
can't
I
make
forgot. I can't
references.
acknowledge
Some
the
Ren and-
animation of those damn round eyes.
Ren and Stimpy is dumb animations for gaijin. I watch cool shit like
It's fucking Testament of Sister New Devil. Okay, are we done with
Urusei
this?
Yatsura. So yeah, thanks for listening to this episode of the WeeaBoots podcast. Be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes. Be sure to tell your friends about us because we need to review some anime and you people need to hear our opinions. Thanks for listening to this episode of WeeaBoots. Go check out our video game coverage over at GigaBoots on YouTube and consider supporting us via Patreon so we can continue making WeeaBoots. Jay from HailZeon.com is HailZeon on YouTube, and our theme song is Android by Luckhash. You can check out more music from Luckhash at www.luckhash.com. Oh, and if you could, write a review for us on iTunes. GigaBoots has been brought to you by the support of our producers Vincent Poverk and Cywolf via our Patreon. Consider becoming a GigaBoots patron today.